what he does. Apparently his niece, Twinkie Winky, but it's not a real name, says he looks like Salman Khan as well. Will they fool us? We'll find out a bit later on. Sanjiv.
Okay. Now, my next guest can honestly say that he started his music career as a cult figure, being as he was a drummer with the punk band The Cult. These days, though, he fronts political rap as Fundamental and heads the cutting-edge music label Nation Records. How he found time to come and see us, I have no idea, but I'm very glad he did. He's just over there, Mr. ahhhs. Sit down.
Take it, Papa.
Not too bad, not too bad. Now, I mentioned you. This is actually, I should say, this is the first time you've been on Network East, which surprises me.
No, I've been on a few times.
You've been on, but not actually in person.
No, I've been on a few times doing some really embarrassing things.
Really?
Earlier in.
See, I was trying to reinvent your history there. You could have actually, you know, forgotten all about that. I gave you the chance.
No, I like to be honest. Yeah.
Now, I mentioned you being in the Cult there, and the reason I did, I think it's something that people still don't realise, that there was actually an Asian on the punk scene. I mean, what was it actually like?
It was amazing. I think, you know, I know that a lot of people will probably look at that scene, especially, you know, Asian people, and say, oh, jungly, you know, look at them and things like this. But for me, it was like the best education I had, because it took me away from the Asian community, and it also took me away from British community. And I just learnt so many things, and, you know, like had brilliant discussions and debates with old hippies and all this. So it kind of like taught me a lot about politics and things.
Yeah, but you must have been the only Asian there, surely.
Well, I think it's a bit of a myth, you know, that I think, you know, if you look at people like Zakir Hussain, they were doing things in the 60s and in Germany, and there used to be a guy called Biddu who used to be in Monochrome Set. And there was a few others. Yeah. But it was amazing because we used to do all these concerts, and we used to have all these, like, you know, Asian, you know, say Pakistani girls would turn up, and they were all like punk rockers. And I would be going, yeah, bota chibata, you know, it's like brilliant.
There's actually a few ex-punk rockers in the crowd today, I can see them.
Yeah, can we have some noise, please? Where are they?
There they are.
Where's the punk rocker? Oh, it's him.
It's him.
I remember him.
Yeah.
He used to be an ex-punk rocker with the glasses.
Nice.
Can you see him?
Yeah, I can picture him in a biker's jacket. But you've always kept the punk ethic going through the years, haven't you?
Yeah, because I actually see, I mean, you know, again, you know, a lot of people think it just as a fashion, and I really took it as a philosophy. And now I can connect it to a lot of, you know, kind of religious aspects as well. Yeah. You know, because it's.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, we're talking about punk ethic, but I mean, how does that relate to you? Well, tell us about your latest project and how that fits in with that.
Yeah, the latest project I've been like working on for so long is about 4 or 5 years ago. I was in Pakistan, and I was doing a documentary for French television about the conflict between Islam and music, and why there's no respect for musicians, and the hypocrisy of that, and contradictions and things like this. And we came across this Qawwali band who were like 5 or 6 brothers, and they were just absolutely amazing in this little village outside Lahore. And I was just like totally mesmerised, and I was just like watching them, and they had so much energy, and they were almost like punk rockers, you know. It's like, you know, because Sufism, you know, it's anti-establishment, it's anti-society, it doesn't like to be controlled, it's higher than that. And I was really, you know, I learnt a lot. Yeah. And I suddenly realised how, you know, my musical knowledge is pathetic compared to Indian musicians and, you know, our musical heritage.
Yeah. So you're bringing them over now, aren't you?
Yeah, they're actually across here now. We've been working with them, and I swear, to me, it's the most fulfilling part of doing something, especially with traditional musicians, because it's almost like, you know, I'm naked and they put the clothes on me.
Yeah. Well, they have put the clothes on you today, haven't they? I'm enjoying your outfit. It's brilliant.
No, this is provided by BBC. No?
Really?
Yeah, it's part of the sofa.
I wanted that.
It's part of the sofa, man. Yeah.
But you actually, are these guys actually touring with Fundamental?
Yeah, we're doing some collaborations around and all that stuff. And, you know, I really kind of urge people, especially the older generation, to go see them in their traditional role, because they'll be totally blown out and especially for young people to come and see him. You know, and there's a couple of guys in there who are just like, you know, if I was a girl, I'd marry him. And I'd get him to sing to me all night because he just, you know, got sweetest voices.
That is the ultimate compliment. If I was a girl, I would marry them.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned there that you obviously appreciate Qawwali musically, but then you're also saying that spiritually, because you got into Sufism, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult to get into Sufism in this day and age and this environment, but I take on a lot of ethics of it and I really connect with it, and I think that, you know, it's a level that I think if we were all allowed to be on, we all would be. I mean, I'm not just talking about Sufis. I'm talking about any religion has an amazing spiritual element to it, which, you know, is not taught. It's oppressed. People get brought up in ignorance and not taught. You know, I mean, you know, there's amazing things about religion. We need to pull out the positivity of religion and stop letting, you know, people kidnap it and use it for their own kind of motives and things like this. And it's weird how, you know, in Pakistan and India and Africa, you know, religion is just part of their day life. But here in the West, it's just like, I think, you know, the reaction to religion is because of what religion's done to people in the past.
Well, listen, we look forward to seeing you guys, Fundamental and the Qawwali Group, on tour. But in the meantime, Aki Namaz, thanks very much for coming in. Aki Namaz.
What a guy.